Well, I have not been live with you guys for quite some time. Oh, I got some fuzzies sticking up there, and I'll tell you why and what's been going on. And I'm excited to get connected. I will say, I don't even know if this is going to be going live into Facebook. So a few weeks ago, I got banned from going live on Facebook, and I believe that is still going on. So we'll see. Some of you may be getting the recording of this and not actually live. But I've had two things going on. One is I have manifested the traveling that I have always wanted to do. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that. But then also being banned from being able to go live and learning a lot from that situation. So we'll see if this works. But I'm excited to spend the time with you today. If you are getting this, otherwise, you're getting it probably after our normal 12 o'clock noon live time. I think I only have 2 weeks left of getting banned. I had posted a post in my private group talking about a new affiliate program that we have. And I guess the powers that be thought that it was some kind of like scam. And so they blocked me from going live. They took down my post. I have sent in 3 appeals saying, you misunderstood this post. This is like a legitimate thing. This is not a scam. But because everything's now, AI, there's nobody actually looking at it. Of course, it's has not been approved. And so this has caused actually quite a bit of chaos in my business. Number one, it stopped me from being able to go live regularly with you guys the way that I normally do. But it's also really stopped me from being able to do the live events that I do in my private groups because I have a number of private Facebook groups that I run and can't go live in there. And so it was a good reminder to me. Sometimes you know something, but you need to be reminded of what you know, that all of these services, all of these platforms are third-party platforms. We don't own them. And one of the things that we talk a lot about within the Hey Girl You Can community is that when you own a business, you want to have, you want to own those contacts, right? And the only way you do that is really through an email list and building an email list and how important that is, because that is how you can communicate with people. Because let's be real, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, any of these platforms can really disappear overnight. And there's nothing that any of us, myself, you, anybody else can do about that. And so if you own a business, it is absolutely imperative that you collect email addresses. If you are just relying on followers and connections that way, that is a shaky ground that you are building upon. And I learned this lesson 2 ways outside of what has just happened. First, a friend of mine, a beautiful person. She was actually, I have brought her on my podcast, Corey Michelle Johnson. She is a life changer. I believe that is what she does. She changes people's lives. She is magic. She works with people in their energy and in their belief systems. And I am so incredibly grateful to have her friendship. She lives across the world from me now. We used to live in Denver together, which is where I got to meet her. She now lives in Australia. If you have the opportunity to be in her space and to follow her, you want to do that. But she was running a very significant, very successful, largely lucrative, we're talking multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business out of Facebook groups. Well, she posted something during a season when there was stuff going on in the world that again the powers that be did not like, and she was taking everything was shut down instantly gone. The Facebook group's gone. She was shut down. It was like they just said nope, off our platform, and everything just disappeared. Now, because she works in this energy world of like, everything good happens to me, she's way more zen than I would have been, and she had a lot of email addresses and was able to still stay in contact with all of her clients and her people and her connections that way. And for one of my businesses, I have a Facebook group it's a private group. It's invitation only. You can't get in. It's not searchable. And there's a few thousand people in there. And it makes me realize we do not have all of those people's email addresses. And so if you have a business, having email addresses is really important. Also, we spend a lot of time building vanity metrics, and we know they're vanity metrics. We know that when you look at somebody and they have all these followers, that doesn't really mean anything other than these people have followed them. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're making a certain amount of money or they're getting a certain amount of views or that they're even monetizing it very well. And this happened in the Clubhouse days. Hey Girl You Can, many people don't know, actually came from Clubhouse. And Clubhouse was the first social audio app that kind of hit the ground in the middle of the pandemic. And it was a matter of being in the right place at the right time, and having some skills that supported our massive growth. We grew one of the fastest growing clubs on the app. I had, tens of thousands of followers, was very well known on the app. We were growing by leaps and bounds. And then they decided they were going to change how they were running the app. And so all these OGs, of us who had been on the app, built it to where it was getting all this notoriety. They changed all the metrics overnight, and we went from having these huge amount of followers to like less than 2,000 people. It was like watching what you had built for, I had built over a year building this and watching it just being hacked apart. And many of us left the app after that. It was like the slaughter of Clubhouse, and they never really rebounded from that. But it made me realize too, you work so hard to build these vanity metrics. And at the time, I didn't have systems in place to collect emails. I had this huge club. I had all of these women, but I had no way to really connect with them. I didn't have anything in place the way that I do now with our membership. And so it was not a great situation, but it made me realize how quickly you can lose those vanity metrics. So whether you're on TikTok, we see this happen all the time. I mean, I have seen this with multiple people where they've been locked out of their groups, locked out of their things. So I'm sharing this with you because, number one, don't ever think you own the platform. Don't ever think that just because you have 10, 15, 20, 30,000 followers, 100,000 followers, that these people are connected to you, because they could literally be gone overnight. And this is why it is so important that you have a back channel, an email where you can reach people, that you can always email them, and that people get those emails from you when you show up. So again, we talk a lot about this in Hey Girl You Can. We actually did a whole training, I think it was maybe 2 months ago, about using ChatGPT for email marketing and how to do that, but still keep your voice, and how to use AI in a way that supports your business versus replaces your business. I heard a very scary stat recently. I was out at a 3-day conference, way out in Pennsylvania, and heard this, that within 10 years, it's estimated that 47% of people will be unemployed, losing their jobs to technology and AI. I think it's also important to note then that, what is your plan B? What else are you building? What else are you doing? Are you saving your money? Are you investing your money? Are you getting into real estate? Are you building a business? Are you creating products? Like, what else are you doing that you're not totally dependent on one stream of income? But it has been very fun, very exciting, because I had been wanting to travel for a very long time. I've been saying this for years, hasn't happened. And then just recently really has. And so I go, you keep speaking what you want into existence. Just keep speaking what you want into existence. And I think this is a really important, what do we talk about all day long? And so I feel very grateful that the things that I've been talking about are starting to happen. So speak those things into existence. I will also say I've spent 2 solid weeks in training and education. I went to a 3-day conference that was an 8-hour each way drive out Pennsylvania. I then did a 72-hour conference that was online. And then right after that, went up to Boston for a day-long conference. My brain is on overload. Let me tell you that. I have a notebook. I have been taking, I have 2. This is filled with notes, and then I'm not sure where my other one is up here. I have 2 notebooks that are filled. When I say filled with notes that I have been taking. So all in here, and then this is also an entire notebook of notes that I've been taking. And I'm sharing this because there's a saying that you've probably heard. If you've heard this, you can put it in the chat and tell me, that school is never out for the pro. If you want to be a pro at whatever you do, there is no end. We never arrive. I believe that when we arrive, it is because that is a time for us to go home with our creator, right? That we are always growing. It's very interesting. Do you know that retirement is not even biblical? The idea that you would stop contributing. We think of work and we're like, I don't want to work. But if your work is your contribution to the world, then it's not really work, right? It's your purpose. It's why you're here. And that could look different in different seasons of your life. You have a stay-at-home mom and her work is raising a family and contributing to like future generations, right? You could be in a season where, volunteering is your work, or it could be something that is monetizing, right? But that we want to contribute. We want to, and part of that is growing into the best version of ourselves. And I wish I could say, I've mastered all the best versions. I have not. I've not even come close. And so being in the room with people who elevate your thinking. One thing I was thinking as I was at this event way out in Pennsylvania, it was a very exclusive invitation only event. You had to be at a certain level in business to be able to get invited. And I thought to myself, when they say get a seat at the table, you got to get your seat at the table. You want to be at a table where there's a different conversation, at a table where people are talking big dreams, big goals, big life. Like, get your seat at the table. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I'm surrounded by such incredible women. I'm so grateful that I have a team that is so incredible that I get the seat at the table, right? And I'm excited because now I have to process all of this information and say, okay, how can I apply this to me? Because this is the other thing that I think is key, right? A lot of us love to learn. I love to learn. I loved school. Do you love school, right? But if we don't apply what we learn, it really doesn't mean anything. If we don't apply what we learn and put it into our life to make changes, it doesn't really mean anything that we learned it, right? And so taking all this information and applying it. So I know I've been talking for like 11 minutes. I don't even know if this is going to go live for you guys, but what I want to share with you is something, and I'll actually do another live, and I'll talk a little bit about this. If you want the info, here I will put this up here. I have something coming up for you. It's kicking off Sunday night. So I'll do another live. I'll do a couple so that you don't miss out on this. It's coming up Sunday night. I am doing a time audit. Now, this is something that I did years ago. I was going to a leadership conference years ago, and as part of the conference, before we had to go, it was a training. You had to do this time audit in order to be able to go. And it was one of the hardest activities I have done. It was also one of the most life-changing and life-transforming activities that I've done. And basically what a time audit is you audit your time for a week. And that involves setting an alarm every 30 minutes for a week. And the alarm goes off and you write down what you're doing. And then what you do is you take that information and you color code it and you use it in a way that you can actually pull out valuable aha moments, valuable information to apply it to your life. And so I'm going to go ahead here and put this here in I'll put this here. Let me go ahead and add this. I should have put this in here before, but this way you can see what it is. So I'm actually going to be doing this for myself. And because I am doing it for myself, I am inviting you, if you want to come in and join me and do it. So normally this is a product that you can just get on my, in my online store. It's a product that I sell. It's a workbook and people can do it on their own. But I'm actually going back and redoing it for myself. So here it is. I'll put this here. I'm actually going back and I'm working through this program myself. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a kickoff Zoom on Sunday night. And then I am doing a wrap-up Zoom the following week. Now, or it's Monday. Now, here's the thing. If you are a Hey Girl You Can member, you already have access to this. It's already in your portal. It's already in your membership. You don't need to buy anything. Just log in. If you can't find it, go to our Facebook group. Tell me you can't find it. I'll show you where it is. You can download it, log in on the Zoom. You'll have access. You'll get an email from me with the Zoom login so that you can join me on Monday. We're going to kick this off for a week. If you're not a member of Hey Girl You Can, well, that's silly. You should be. So I would encourage you to become a member of Hey Girl You Can. And if otherwise, you can just go ahead and get this and download, you can just go ahead, purchase it, download it, and join us. If you purchase it, you'll get access to the Zoom with me on Monday. I have to say, this time audit, I was somebody who felt like I was really using my time, but I also felt like I was really busy. I was overstretched. I felt like I wasn't getting stuff done. At the end of the day, I would think, what did I do? I didn't feel proactive. I felt like I was constantly playing catch up. I was constantly spinning my wheels. When I did the time audit, I learned so much about where my time was actually going, what I was doing that I didn't even realize I was doing. It was so valuable. And so I've been thinking in my head, Tara, you really need to do this again, because I've been feeling that way. I've been feeling like, oh my gosh, at the end of the day, what did I get done? And I've been feeling like playing this catch up, and I've tried different things, and I work with a planner, and you guys know, like, I love my calendar. I'm really good with, all of that and organized, but still feel like I'm always just a little behind. And so I thought, you know what? This time audit was life-changing before. It's been years since I've done it. I'm in a different season in my life. I'm going to do it again. And so I invite you to join me and to do this with me, because we often think we know where our time is going. Even those of us who are using a date book or a calendar, we think we know what's going on. When you go through this, you realize you will have so many aha moments. You'll be like, I did not realize. I did not realize. And what happens is, it's kind of that saying, awareness is the first step, right? Once we're aware of what's actually going on, not what we think is going on, but what's actually going on, now we can make positive changes. Now we can make pivots and shifts and adjustments to support what we want. And I really think that this is the perfect time to do it, because we're getting ready to get into a new year. We're getting ready to get into 2026. So this is the time to do this, so that you have this valuable information. So you've got a couple of weeks to work with it, to mull it over, to take a look at it, to reevaluate, so that you can start your 2026 strong. So I invite you to join me. I'll go live a couple of more times before Monday. So if you have questions, jot those in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. But grab your time audit, or if you're a member, head over to your portal. And I'm excited to see how many of us are going to do this together. I think it's going to be such a great way to finish this year and set ourselves up